go have us a look at the garden. It's been a week since we've been down here. I wish y'all had a shade tree like this. This comes all the way down to the ground. Stays nice and shaded in here. Which makes it really nice in the summertime when it's hot out. Of course, the dogs, they love it too. Get into there, roll around, scratch on there. Let's go over here and look at the tomatoes. I transplanted a few of these yesterday over into the garden, but there's our beefsteak tomatoes. Down to there. Them tubs are kind of full, but I'm thinning them out a little at a time. I got 4 or 5 bell peppers that came up finally. I think every one of these Rio Grande tomatoes came up. I've been digging around in there taking some out. And then these are eggplants. They're getting almost big enough to start transplanting. Some tools where I was transplanting. My jalapenos, they're getting big enough to start transplanting. My giant pumpkins, I only planted 5 of them in this tub. So there you go. There's all 5 of them. They're growing really good. They're up top of the tub now. So they should do pretty good. Walk over here and take a look in the garden. All these little tomato plants were all laying on the ground yesterday where I'd transplanted them, watered them. I'm gonna give them some more water here in a little bit, but they're starting to perk up. I'll end up, some of them will die, some of them will thin out, but it'll work out. I got my corn up a little bit. Walk around here to the gate. We'll go in the garden. Gotta keep this thing locked up or the dogs will come in here and they think they like to roll in this stuff. I have something that's eating my squash leaves, so I took and put some diatomaceous earth on there. That won't hurt the bees because I didn't put none down there on the flowers, so it'll stop whatever's eating my leaves. And I can't figure out what it was because I looked and I didn't see no aphids or squash bugs or nothing, so I don't know what it is that's getting them. You can, yeah, you can see that. If you flip it over, if there's little black spots on the back side of these leaves, it's usually aphids. But apparently it's not aphids. I didn't see no black spots on there where they lay their eggs. But I cleaned out the hen house and put it down here in between the rows here, and it's made my corn just shoot right up. I'm gonna have that one there. That one's kind of funky. I planted it, and it's only 1 corn seed, but there's 4 stalks coming off of it, so that one was worth what I paid for it. And you can see my black-eyed peas coming along, and in that row there's that real short corn where I overseeded, where something didn't come up that was supposed to come up. So that's about a week or 2 behind this, a week behind this corn. So, and I got some more squash plants here. These are all zucchini squash, and I actually have some, if we can look in there and see some. Oh, those are all male flowers there. All right there's one that's going to have a zucchini on it right there, if you can see that. So I should have zucchinis in about, I don't know, I'd say about a week I'll have some zucchini on there. But I always let them grow up until, and see here you can see I put sticks and everything that was in the old corn stalks from last year's garden that was in my hen house. I just went in there with a shovel and a wheelbarrow and dug the ground up a little bit and put it on there. Now my chicken got in here, and that's why these green beans aren't in the row, and I seeded with corn. And now every time you water, you can see the chicken yard stuff I put there. Every time you water, it just kind of washes that nitrogen in there, and it doesn't really burn it that way. But if you put straight chicken manure in your garden straight on your plants, it'll burn them every time. Down here, this is all yellow squash, which is going to be loaded here in a couple of more days. We look in there and you can see I got some there and a bunch more that are coming on, just a little bit everywhere. My cucumbers have come up finally, and I don't know what it is this year, but for some reason we've been having a weird growing season here. I had some stuff that came up, some that didn't, some that I don't think is ever going to come up, and some that, you know, in this end of the garden you can see is where the ground's quite a bit darker. This end of the garden holds water really good, and usually I try to plant my corn, stuff that needs a lot of water on this end, cantaloupes, watermelons. But this year I just decided to plant, because I was so late getting in here, because this end of the garden will actually stand in water. If we get a big rainstorm, where we get a couple inches of rain, this thing will be 3 or 4 inches in water down here. So you just can't get in here and till it up and work with it. And it goes up to about where the zucchini starts up there. It stands in water. But you can see my black-eyed peas down here, they're really good. And this next row right next to them, these are cantaloupes. And they didn't come up, and then the chicken dug some up, and that's what the price you gotta pay when you have chickens running loose in your garden. I do that because the baby chicks will come through here and clean out all the bugs, and it's just instead of having to use pesticides and stuff for the bug problem, I can just use chickens. You lose a few crops, and this is my okra. It's just starting to take off pretty good, but you get up here and it skips a big portion of it, and so I'm gonna end up planting peppers or tomatoes in this row. And then I got another row right there that I'm gonna end up planting in tomatoes and peppers. So, but that's the garden update and what's going on in here. There's them tomatoes. Them things seem to be doing, they look like they might take off a few of them. Some of them may die, but it'll be alright. I got plenty of them. Well, that's it.